Janelle, are we ready? Okay. So we're just waiting for a Councilwoman Viera to log into Zoom before we get started. Her and Council Member Brian Remo will be Zooming in.
I'm here.
Hi, Brian. Oh, nice. I saw that. That was very good. I'm not going to say anything tonight because of our discussion. So, you know what to do. Chief, when we get started, do you have an officer out there to close the door? Okay. We're waiting for Councilwoman Viera. We have a pretty light agenda item tonight, so we're waiting for Councilwoman Viera to log in, so we're not in a giant hurry to kick off the meeting. Sometimes it's frustrating to log on to those Zoom things. Officer Lee? Good evening. Welcome. We'll wait a few more minutes. Daniel, you giving the prayer tonight? John, you like to do the pledge when we start? Thank you. You guys, with the new microphones, make sure you guys turn them on so we can record what's going on. There's new microphones up here. So.
for recording.
Call this meeting August 10th, 2020, the Atwater City Council to order. Tonight we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance by Chief State and invocation by Daniel. Please rise.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing.
Heavenly Father, I thank you for this wonderful opportunity, Lord, coming here at the City Council meeting, God, where good business can be done, Lord. God, I just ask that the City Council members here and the Fire Chief and the Chief of Police, Lord, look towards you, God, for guidance and direction, that they're able to lean on you. Please bless it here tonight. Allow us to do what needs to be done in a way that we can honor you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Ambrose,
Here.
Kale,
Here.
Raymond,
Here.
Vieira will join teleconference. Creighton,
Here.
we have a quorum.
City Attorney reported at a closed session.
Yes, Mayor. In closed session, the council considered one real property negotiation. Council was provided information and gave direction, no reportable action.
Thank you. Approval of agenda as posted or amended.
Motion to approve the agenda as posted.
I'll second.
Motion by Raymond, second by Kale.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Raymond,
Yes.
Kale,
Yes.
Creighton,
Yes.
motion passes.
Consent calendar.
Background information has been provided on all matters listed under the consent calendar, and these items are considered to be routine. All items under the consent calendar are normally approved by one motion. If discussion is requested on any item, that item will be removed from the consent calendar for separate action.
Are there any items on the consent calendar that the city council would like to remove for separate discussion or in possible action? Are there any members of the public like to speak on the consent calendar? Seeing none, we'll close public comment, bring it back to council for direction.
I'll move that we approve the consent calendar.
I'll second.
Motion by Kale, second by Ambrose.
Raymond,
Yes.
Kale,
Yes.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Creighton,
Yes.
motion passes.
Public hearings. Item number 9, 2020 Edward Bryan Memorial Justice Assistance Grant Program and resolution approving budget amendment relating to the grant program. Chief Salvador.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. Mike Salvador, Chief of Police. This is a routine item. We normally get this grant every single year. It just flew. One of the rules of the grant is that we have to have a public hearing to talk about what we are going to do with this grant money. This grant money is going to be the seed money for our body camera project. Just by reading the tea leaves, you'll be able to tell that body cameras are going to become part of law enforcement forever, and they're going to be required. And I could see somewhere down the road that federal dollars being tied to whether you have them or not. So with this grant, we'll get that ball rolling, get it started, get the program seeded, and then in subsequent years, readjust the budget for ongoing service and maintenance. I'll take any questions if you have them.
Okay, this time I'll open it to the public. Any public have any questions or comment on this item? Do you know we have any speaker cards on this item?
Mayor, we do not have any speaker cards on this item.
Okay, we'll close the public comment, bring it back to council for direction or comment. What's your pleasure?
I don't have any.
Motion to approve this item as posted.
Second.
Kale,
Yes.
Raymond,
Yes.
Vieira?
Yes.
And for the record, to note that Vieira has joined on in Zoom. Ambrose?
Yes.
Creighton?
Yes, good job, Chief.
Motion passes.
Item 10, report and presentations from staff. Resolution approving a budget amendment amending fiscal year 2021 budget regarding appropriation of funds obtained by the sale of surplus police property. Chief Salvador.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, the department sold its obsolete firearms. That revenue, the department is asking to be reappropriated into this year's budget so we can basically match first year of body camera grant proceeds. There is no general fund impact to this item. It will be placed in the special grants fund for the purposes of audit and control, and staff recommends approval.
Okay, this time we'll open it to the public for comment. Do we have any speaker cards?
Regarding this item, Mayor, we do not have any speaker cards.
Any members of the public come forward at this time if you have a comment on this item?
Michael Noguera, Atwater, California. I don't know if I'm allowed, but may I address the chief?
On this item, yes.
Okay.
You could address the council, then through the council to the chief.
Okay, so my question would just be to the chief for the obsolete items that were sold. Who were they sold to, and would it be available in the future to, or could it have been sold to the public as well?
Real quick, I want to, Chief, you finish up the answer. We did go over this when we bought the new gear. We discussed that, and then the answer is going to be no, because you can't sell police equipment back to the general public, but the chief will explain that. So if we rewind back when we bought the long rifles, was that
The long rifles, yes. Okay, so the answer to your question is yes and no. Okay? The yes part, we sold, our officers bought the majority of the firearms. Due to federal law and firearms sales, then we found a firearms dealer and a local one here in town to sell those firearms to that were not purchased by police officers. Those firearms now are able to be sold either by the firearms dealer to the general public or to other dealers nationwide.
Okay. All right, thank you.
any other members of the public like to come forward on this item? Please come forward. Seeing none, close the public comment, bring it back to the dais. Council, questions or direction?
You know, anytime we're able to get new equipment without costing us money out of pocket, I'm okay with it. So I'll motion to approve this item as posted.
A second.
Motion
I
by
will
Raven,
second.
second by Ambrose.
Kale?
Yes.
Ambrose?
Yes.
Vieira?
Yes.
Raymond?
Yes.
Creighton?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 11, approving a contract change order to general construction contract with George Reed for the wastewater treatment plant drying bed expansion project. Public Works Community Development Director Thompson.
Mr. Mayor and members of the council, thank you for your consideration of this item. Tonight before you is a request by staff for the one and only change order that we are expecting for this particular project. The necessity of the change order is so that we have the ability to deal with an unexpected condition at the work site of interfacing the old work of the wastewater treatment plant with the new work of improvement for the drying beds. The requested change is for around $13,000 in change, and important to note to the council that the sum of the contract work, including the change order, is about $100,000 under the estimate from the engineer. So we're about $100,000 under budget on this.
Okay, this time I'll open up to the public. Any speaker cards?
No, Mayor, we do not have any speaker cards for this item.
Public like to come forward at this time on this item? Seeing none, we'll close the public comment, bring it back to the dais for direction or discussion. Council?
So, Greg, what are they, I was really unsure of this in that they're creating a dryer bed or they're enlarging their dryer bed?
They have installed, per the original plans and specifications of the wastewater treatment plant, it always called for the installation of these drying bed facilities. It's better waste management, it's better site management, and the installation of the drying bed areas was, per this contract that was previously approved by the council, anticipated integrating this facility with the existing facility. During the process of that work, they found some excess material and some leakage of cement that was previously poured. It caused this anticipated change under this work order. And what we're asking for here is approval of the work order that would allow us to to finish the work and close out the project.
It was anticipated or not anticipated?
It was anticipated. The work of improvement from this particular installation of the drying beds was always contemplated by the original design and the analysis that was done under the environmental impact report.
Okay, thank you.
Any other council members have any questions? See none. Direction, council?
I'll make a motion that we go ahead and approve the recommendation by staff.
I'll second.
Motion by Kale, second by Raymond.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Kale,
Yes.
Vieira,
Yes.
Raymond,
Yes.
Creighton.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. So the next item, our finance director will be available also via Zoom. She's logged in?
Yes, there she
Okay, so
is.
staff's in. Can you hear us, Kelly?
No, she's not.
Is she there or no?
She's here. Kelly, can you hear us?
We're on item 12, Kelly. Okay, well, while you try to get her in, we're going to continue. Item 12, resolution approving a budget amendment amending the fiscal year 2021 budget pertaining to the 5-year capital improvement program and police grants fund. Kelly, are you there now? If not, I'm going to kick it over to the city manager.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. Before you is an modified capital improvement project list and a resolution approving budget amendment number 3, amending this fiscal year 2021 budget pertaining to the 5-year capital improvement program. There are some public works items. This is just a cleanup. Some items that were approved in the budget process that were not carried over to the 5-year capital improvement project, and then an item as far as the electric vehicle charging stations that were not included in this year's budget that was included in the capital improvement project. And if you have any questions, Greg Thompson, our Public Works Director, can answer regarding the project list.
Okay, thank you. This time we'll open up to the public comment. Do we have any speaker cards on this item?
No, Mayor, we do not.
Any members of the public like to come forward on this item at this time, please come to the podium. Seeing none, we'll close the public comment, bring it back to the dais for discussion or direction. Council?
So this is for the city manager. We spoke earlier, and I just want to confirm again, there's no fiscal impact to the general fund on this item.
That's correct.
Okay, so it's just housekeeping.
Correct.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion that we go ahead and approve the change order, the budget, approving budget amendment number 3.
I'll second.
Motion by Kale, second by Raymond.
Janelle?
I know, I'm just reading. I was reading, there's 2 different motions, so I just wanted to make sure for clarification.
So do we do have the motion correct?
I just wanted, because he
Just
said
ask the first
change
and
order.
second if they're
He just said change order, so I got confused. So I just wanted to make sure for clarification.
Can you restate the motion?
Okay. My motion would be to adopt resolution number 3171-20, approving budget amendment number 3, amending the financial year 2021 budget pertaining to a 5-year capital improvement program and police grants fund. And do I need to make two
No.
motions?
No, you
Just
don't.
one? Okay, and that would be it.
Call for the question.
Thank you. So first was
And I'm okay
Kale,
with
then
that.
Raymond.
Kale,
Okay,
Kale
perfect.
first and Raymond second.
Perfect. Raymond,
Yes.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Kale,
Yes.
Viera,
Yes.
Creighton.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Comments from the public. And before we get started on this, the last couple of times that public comment, I know there's people expressing their civil right to speak at the podium. Please try to refrain from foul language if possible. It is your freedom, but if you feel it necessary to go on a diatribe using profanity, we're going to pause, let people mute theirs at home, turn it off, and let people leave the chamber so they don't have to be subjected to that. So it is your First Amendment right to do that, but please show respect to your neighbors and your fellow citizens. Okay?
At this time, any person may comment on any item which is not on the agenda. You may state your name and address for the record, however, it is not required. Action will not be taken on an item that is not on the agenda. If it requires action, it will be referred to staff and/or placed on a future agenda. Please limit comments to a maximum of 3 minutes.
Do we have any speaker cards?
Mayor, I have one speaker card, and I also have 2 comments that were received via email as well.
Okay. Can we go ahead and do the in-person comment card first, and then the 2 emails, and then we'll open up to anybody after that?
Okay. So the first comment that I have, a request to comment, is Richard Johnson.
Please come to the podium, state your name, welcome.
Good evening, Richard Johnson, 1675 Drakeley Avenue. During the last city council meeting, mine and my wife's public comments to the council were not seen or heard. You say it was a technical malfunction, but everyone could clearly see it was sabotaged. I guess it was a technical malfunction that put the agenda on the screen. And I guess it was a technical malfunction when Chief Salvador walked up and pushed the button on the mic. Apparently, the tech support fairies flew in and fixed the malfunction before Jeannie even had a chance to wiggle her nose. Because the very next speaker was seen and heard, just like every other speaker before the Johnsons. Moving on, there's a hypocrite pastor named Rich Miller who sits in judgment of others that he has never even met before, and uses this podium right here and this forum to do so. And this council finds that perfectly acceptable, but the word bullshit is offensive.
The 2 emails, please.
Hello. First, I want to thank you all for starting council meetings with prayer and the pledge to our American flag. It is much appreciated. I also appreciate to see council members wearing masks and our social distancing with hand sanitizer available as much. This can be life-saving. Not everyone is able to wear a mask because of medical issues, but kudos to those who can and do. The reason I am writing is to say that during the shutdown, when things were easing a bit, my husband and I went for a drive. We came to Atwater as a young military couple, so we decided to drive around Castle Air Base. Old and new areas, it was heartbreaking to see how some parts are overgrown with weeds, dry grasses, and some of the buildings that were brand newly built in the 1990s going to waste, looking very shabby. As I feel these might have at one time been useful to possibly becoming shelters for the homeless or made into low-income housing. Maybe someday, as at the moment, keeping our country on its feet, so to speak, through pandemic is the priority for all levels of government. I have just one more question. Are there any charities in Atwater accepting gently used clothes donations at present? Also, are any of the recycled green boxes for clothes and household good donations left in Atwater? Sincerely, Lita LC.
Okay.
To the members of the Atwater City Council, I am writing to ask you rescind your dangerous sanctuary city for businesses resolution and accept the emergency funding being offered by the state. By your own admission, now is the time to be raising taxes on the people of Atwater. Can we really afford a self-imposed tax of $389,000 just to satisfy a pet political project? Stop playing politics with people's lives. The money that the City Council is denying to Atwater citizens could go towards rent relief for small businesses and citizens who are struggling, or it could go to help families that have lost loved ones due to COVID-19. Instead, you are choosing to maintain your dangerous resolution, even though, by Mayor Creighton's own admission, most businesses that have been authorized to reopen are wisely staying shut. Who benefits then from maintaining a resolution that is a mere political game? Only members of the council committed to an agenda that puts lives of workers and patrons at risk, and which denies us critical funding that could be used for the neediest and most fragile members of our community. Hundreds of fellow Atwater residents agree. Rescind your deadly resolution and save lives. Caleb Hampton.
Any other members of the public who'd like to come forward at this time? Welcome, state your name.
Hi, my name's Naomi Miller. I live at 334 Zilla Drive. And my dad is the best man I've ever met. And
Take a second, deep breath. You're okay.
I know my dad doesn't.
Here, look at me. You're okay.
My dad has never used a podium in the wrong way. He's been preaching for over 10 years. And at the last city council meeting, I was very disturbed because I've never heard somebody so full of anger. And I haven't heard anybody use that many words that are so hurtful. And my dad had to comfort me afterwards. And I'd just like to say thank you to you guys. I'm glad nobody at home had to listen to what he had to say, because it was just hurtful. You guys do all you can to help us. And from the bottom of my heart, I love you guys. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other members of the public like to come forward at this time? Pastor, how old's your daughter?
She's just had a birthday, so she just turned, you'd ask me, I have 5 of them, 5 kids. 14? 15. She just turned 15. Sorry.
That was very courageous.
She was 14.
Good job.
She just turned 15. Rich Miller, 334 Silva Drive here in Atwater, also pastor Victory Baptist Church, 1280 Sierra Vista Street. I wasn't going to say anything, but since my daughter did, I just want to follow that up with this. At the last city council meeting, I did address people's language. I did address people's hypocrisy. I do believe I used the words correctly. And as you folks have been attacked before, as you understand, I was attacked as well by Mr. Lee and other people, and that's okay. It's their right. I did ask that they not use vulgarity if they could, because the reason my daughter comes to these meetings is she wants to learn about politics. She wants to learn how things are done. And if we can't be grown up enough to watch our language, then what are we teaching the next generation? There's a lot of words in the dictionary, and we can find the right language to use in a setting like this. And that's why I had asked that. I do believe Mr. Hampton's been a hypocrite, and I believe I used the word correctly. I saw at the last city council meeting, with all the emails that were sent in before the public comment when the sanctuary city aspect was being brought up, people that I care about being attacked. Over the last year and a half, you guys have become a family to me every 2 weeks. So when I see you attacked, it hurts me. It bothers me. And I'm going to stand up for people that I believe are doing the right thing and that are being attacked. And when you stand up for stuff, you get attacked, as you all understand. So I don't take back anything I said at the last city council meeting. But what I would like to ask people to do going forward is let's keep the emphasis on the issues, not on personal attacks. I don't come up here normally and attack people, but I will defend you folks if I think you're doing the right thing. At the same time, Mr. Mayor, you know I've gotten up here before and said, I don't think you should do this. Not you personally, but the council. So I'm not a brown noser. I'm not here to just be buddy-buddy with everybody. I'm here as a citizen to try to encourage people who are doing the right thing and to stand up for them when they're attacked. And so with that being said, I hope going forward we can just keep the focus on politics and keep it off personal attacks. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Chief.
Excuse me, you're
Hi.
Any other members of the public? Welcome. State your name.
Sorry. Okay. Lori Johnson. Okay. I wasn't going to speak tonight, but I feel the need to defend myself.
Can you set the clock, please?
It's on.
Okay.
I feel the need to right now because, I mean, everybody's seen how emotional the little girl got. This is a public forum for people who have grievances with the city. These are real grievances that we've been fighting for so long, and our frustrations are real, and our hardships are real, and for anybody to minimize our pain is just disgusting to me. And I have great compassion for everybody. I don't go bashing people and saying that their fight isn't real just because I have the masses behind me, because I don't have the masses behind me. That's why I need to be heard, because it's just me and Rick against the world, obviously, and it's gonna be that way forever. And so we just have to stand up by ourselves. Everybody else has the masses. The churches are behind the pastors. There's all these other institutions that have people's backs. We don't have anybody in our corner except for our supporters that support us online and emotionally, but it's just me and Rick against the world. And our grievances are real, and we need to redress our grievances with our city council. And I'm not trying to be offensive by using the word, I'll say BS because I am a lady, but I am not trying to be offensive. And if we're teaching our children about politics, the reality is it's not pretty. Politics are not pretty at all. And it's harmed people like us. It's taken a toll on my health where it's like, I don't know if I can bounce back from it. And so I'm hurt right now that people could talk about my pain and minimize my pain. And this is not a forum to bash other residents. It's to support the residents when they need to redress their grievances with their city council members. It's a forum for us to be able to change our community in the best way possible to make it the greatest community ever. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Any other members of the public like to come forward at this time? Welcome. State your name.
Adam Reed, 1520 Fruitland Avenue. I just like the pastor, have a young child, and he loves to watch the council meetings. Usually he wants to come, but I told him tonight wasn't a good night. But he enjoys the watching the political process. And one thing he's a very, Mr. Creighton knows him. He is a little bit more of a mature 12-year-old, so he understands that people are going to have outbursts and people are going to say things. But there's a lot of young kids out there that may be watching that may not understand that, and they may find that offensive. So I am very happy that you made the statement before the meeting and that you guys are handling that. What I came here to talk about tonight, though, was a couple weeks ago, I had a break-in at my building downtown Atwater, and I called PD, and they responded right away, and they came down to help me out. We found somebody actually inside the building. The officers went in there and swept it and didn't find anybody, and I told them, okay, no problem, go ahead and go home and I'll take care of this. I don't want to waste your guys' time anymore. Thanks for your service. And they said, nope, we're going to check it one more time because we got a hunch. So they went in there and they actually found him hiding, brought him out, arrested him, and hauled him off. So I'd like to thank Officer Lee, Cardoza, and Corchada. I hope I got that last one right. They did a great job, and I'm glad that they insisted on finding him, because I was going to go in then and secure the back door, and obviously I would have came across them. Also, too, while that was all happening, I did see, obviously, I'm not a police officer, and I don't know anything about the police process or any expertise in it, but they were having like major radio issues. One officer was inside, one was in the back, one was in the front, and I witnessed them not being able to communicate amongst each other. And like I said, I'm not a police officer, so I don't know, but it seemed like that's kind of a safety issue maybe. And I think a couple years ago, we actually went through and did some upgrades on the radio. So I just want to bring that to your guys' attention and thank them, chief, council, that their PD is doing a good job. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other members of the public that have come forward at this time? Seeing none, we'll close public comment. Bring it back to the dais. Council comments, but first, before we jump into council comments, I want to make a couple of statements real quick. Real quick history, there's some people that come to the podium quite regularly that have grievances and issues with the previous council and ongoing litigation and other things. So we as a council can't respond back and forth, do tick for tack when people come to the podium. It's not part of the rules that we are regulated by. So we do sit here. It's frustrating. I think Councilman Raymond said at last council meeting, it's extremely frustrating, but not to digress, we won't get into the back and forth. We will address things through staff at the end of the meeting. Some people's concerns just, will never be satisfied, I think. But this is a community where we do take pride and respect in the way we treat other people. And if you don't have a sense of community and a sense of respect, then we're going to not be any different than Chicago or somewhere else that's going to fall into the pit of abyss. So I stand with my residents and neighbors that we're better than this, and we can continue to do better. We can get our message out. I'm not perfect. I'm sure I know I've said things up here that I probably I do regret, but I think sometimes in the heat of passion we say things, and I just want to make sure that everybody knows, try to refrain from using profanity to get your message across and be civil to your neighbors. Also, Chief, can you address the one of the citizens said something about there's a possibility of radio problem with your patrol. So I want to make sure the citizens don't go home tonight thinking that our police officers aren't able to talk to each other, and if that's true, then we have a problem. Are you fixing it?
The county of Merced owns our radio system. We don't own it. We're subscribers on the system. This last year,
can you go to the podium?
Sure.
This is important because it's public safety, and I think instead of letting
Yes,
weeks
so
go by,
I'll start over. We don't own our own radio system. We're subscribers on the county's system. Earlier this year, the county, it's been ongoing for the last 4 or 5 years, upgraded their entire radio system. It went online approximately 6 to 8 weeks ago. We've purchased our subscriber equipment to match their system. It is state of the art. It is the best you can buy. We're paying for it over the next 4 years. Both the county and us have experienced issues with coverage from our portables. It's not just an Atwater issue, it is a county-wide issue. We are working with the vendors and the county to solve the issue. We hope to have it solved pretty soon. The reason why it is a problem is they moved an antenna from one mountaintop to another one that's higher, which brought it out of alignment. And they're trying to align it so the east side of the valley gets as good a coverage now as the west side of the valley now has. So we're working with the county on that. I had an email going back and forth today about it. Our stuff is tuned up. It is properly programmed. Now it becomes an issue for the vendor.
Thank you. Comments from the council? Cale?
Well, to follow Mr. Adam Reed, I too want to thank the police. During our last board meeting, my alarm went off, and I texted my wife and said, "Hey, what's going on?" And she didn't respond. and she was at home. And little did we know that one of my alarm, the glass break in my alarm wasn't functioning right, and the police showed up and scared the bejesus out of my wife. But you know what? I told her, good for them. Good for them. So thank you guys for protecting that. Thank you, Chief, for responding and letting me know everything was okay. I want to thank you for standing up for your father and your family. There's nothing more important. And you did the right thing. And I know it was nerve-wracking. But look at it this way. They say the two biggest fears are speaking in public and being at a funeral. And if you can speak at a funeral, bang, you got made. And then I want to tell you guys something, and I refuse to. I'm not going to tell anybody who it was, but a very prominent member of Atwater and a leader in our community for many, many years told me at breakfast the other day that she was very proud of this council. This individual said, I have not seen a council that works as well as this one in many, many, many years. So I thank that individual for doing it, because when I went home with my chest all pumped up. And I want to thank that individual for saying that. So that's it.
Raymond?
Okay, so, you know, I hear the Johnsons, you know, when they get up and speak. I understand their pain. You know, I feel their plight. I get it. I do feel for them. But I also know that Pastor Miller is a good man with a good heart. So I just want that out there. I want everyone to understand that. You know, I keep hearing of these government employees that with a guaranteed paycheck, they keep calling and they keep emailing about, oh, you guys are going to hurt people, you're killing people, you're putting lives at risk. What they don't understand and what they fail to see is that we got people's lives and livelihoods at stake because the governor has decided to shut everything down, and everything these people have worked for is gone or going away. But they have a guaranteed paycheck each and every month. It's ridiculous, and I'm sick of it. You know, it's time people they gotta stop thinking about themselves and start thinking about the others who are hurting and who are suffering, who live paycheck to paycheck. You know, it's times like this where usually America pulls together. But for some reason, these people with these guaranteed paychecks, they don't care. All they care about is themselves. And they think, oh, well, wear your mask, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I get it, right? We all need to be safe. We all need to wear our masks. We should all keep our distance. I get it. But at the same time, these small business owners, these people who spent their entire lives building something are losing it. People are hurting. People are suffering. And I will stand with the people of my city and the people that are hurting every step of the way. And I will not capitulate to the governor's orders or to these people with guaranteed paychecks no matter what happens. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Vieira?
Very well said, Council Member Raymond. I think it was loud and clear at the last meeting that the governor was invited to come to the city of Atwater. We've yet to hear from him that he's visiting. All that we hear about is that he seems to be a little upset that we're not abiding by his rules. And I think that being leaders of the community, we have the right to listen to our community. I think the last meeting shows loud and clear what the majority of our community wants. And I'll put it out there again that he's welcome to come to the city of Atwater. If you truly care about us, you'll come and meet with us, talk to us. And I think, I don't know, I'll just kind of follow up with what Brian said. I think that was very well said. I can tell you have a lot of heart and passion in it, as we all do. I also kind of want to make a little comment, and I won't say too much because I know sometimes I do, but you do have a right to publicly say whatever you want. but the people around you have a right to not listen. And when you walk in wearing shirts with profanity on it, it just shows me that that was pretty rehearsed. And I feel really, really, really bad for the Johnsons too. It is difficult to sit meeting after meeting and be scorned for something I had absolutely no part of. That was a previous council many years ago. We've done nothing this council but support them, listen to them, try to help them. And yet we sit unable to respond, and we're scorned meeting after meeting. But I've never got up to them and cursed at them. And I wasn't even there to see her, but I sat here choking back tears when I heard Pastor Miller's daughter speak. And I think that her broken heart should say something to, hey, pretty is as pretty does. So treat people the way you want to be treated. And again, you have the right to say whatever you want, but then the people around you have the right to not listen. And if you truly want to be heard, I think you need to do it in a respectful manner. I know that one citizen heard you loud and clear and reached out with a very generous outpouring of her heart. And I think that was someone that got offended. That didn't seem fair to me, but I'll cut it off there before I say way too much.
Thank you. Councilman Ambrose?
Just want to say, young lady, I know that took a lot of courage, and I know your father's proud of you, and I'm proud of you for getting up there and speaking on his behalf. I have nothing else to say.
Thank you. I too, Pastor Miller, what a wonderful family. You remind me a lot of my daughter. She doesn't take anything from anybody and never will. So you've raised a wonderful child there. Very proud of you. Couple things tonight. Bobby, as we call him, Bobby Balbir Singh, passed away, 80 years old. Pillar of our community. Everybody that lives in Atwater knows Bobby's Liquor. They've Bobby and I go back a ways. Gurpreet and some of his other kids, we've talked and joking around with Gurvinder and Bobby. Bobby likes to play Monopoly, and he plays Monopoly with real property. So in Atwater, he owns Park Place and Boardwalk and all the good properties because he has his liquor stores on all those. Their family is, and he was very well integrated in the community. Bobby came here, and let me read his obituary, a part of it, because he's a special individual for Atwater, and he says a lot about what's going on in America today. Is the story that needs to be told is this man's story, because people are laying around with their hand out wanting something. They want the next government check, they want the next free this, and they want to tell you how you've offended them or you've hurt them and blah, 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 blah. They're just the fake culture that's out there. This is America, made by people like this man right here that immigrated here from India, okay? Bobby was born on December 15th, 1939 to Malik Singh and Laj Kaur in Lalipur, India. Hope I got all that right. Although high school was not his highest level completed education, he was nothing short of brilliant in each of his endeavors. He started his career in a business as the owner of a small trucking company in Delhi, India. I was thinking Delhi, our neighbor down the street. At the young age of 22. He then packed everything up by himself and moved to the United States in 1982, opened his first store in 1984 in Los Banos, and then quickly moved over to Atwater in 1986, where he began an unmatched legacy with the opening of Bobby's Liquors. So he saw an opportunity in the future in America where anybody could be anything. There's no predetermined, nobody in this room is predetermined to anything. It's how hard you work, how much you prepare, and how hard you fight for what you want and you believe in. That's the only thing you're guaranteed in this life and in this country, is the opportunity. And he took the opportunity, seized it, worked his tail off. I don't know any of you that's ever been by Bobby's Liquor and not seen the family members there at the counter at 6 in the morning to midnight, 1 o'clock, on a Friday night, working their tail off. And some of those kids were raised behind the counter. My kids and their kids went to school together. So we've grown up together in this community, and I'm just really proud of what they've done, who they are, and hopefully this inspires other people in America to get up, work hard every day, and you can amass what they've achieved, and they're still building. As Gravinder said, we're not done playing Monopoly yet, Paul, so watch out. So that's good news. And I just wanted to pay respects to Bobby at Bobby's Liquor. And I know a lot of you guys have personal relationships with him through the years. Continue to frequent his establishments with his children, and the funeral service was wonderful. They Facebook streamed it, and there's people from all around the world, like 14 different countries, that tuned in for his services. So this man didn't just impact Atwater, worldwide. So really awesome. Then I just want to say one thing. I posted on something on social media that somebody commented on, and I want to make very clear that I truly believe what I said, and I'm not going to walk it back. And this is what I said. I said, when a man is being compelled to do something unjust, he either submits or rebels. I stand with you because we outnumber the one who's attempting to silence us. Today, let us pray. Let us stand up for our police. Let us stand up for our neighbors who are trying to earn a living, and let us not walk in fear any longer. It's time to let them hear your voice. God bless America. Meeting adjourned.